Wow, Pennsylvania, Los Angeles is in the house. Okay, we're from all over here today. I know Georgia. I'm here from Georgia, Atlanta. Okay, someone says the volume is low. Hold on. Is this better, guys? Can you hear me a little bit better?
It's good on my end. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. All right. So if you guys just joined us, I'm Paris Brickens with Posh Getaways. Please let us know where you are watching us from. We are also streaming live in our Facebook group, Posh Getaways Travel Chat. If you're not already a member in our Facebook group, I hope you will join us. We talk quite a bit over there. And they are also often first to know about what we're doing. So I encourage you to be a part of our community. I'm gonna put it in the chat if you're not already on Facebook. There are a lot of new names. So glad to have you guys here. So it is 6 past the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you guys for joining. I promise we will not be long. All right, so I see we got some people from Atlanta finally showing up in the house. We have NOLA. New Orleans is in the house. We got Los Angeles. All right, Jamila from the West Coast, Pennsylvania, Illinois, North Carolina. Who else is in the house? Let us know where you're watching from. And if you're live on Facebook, we're checking in with you guys too. You can drop it in the comments. Or if you're watching replay, just hit replay and let us know. But today, I want to welcome you to our 5th travel chat, guys. And let me share my screen. One moment. All right. And so today, I'm delighted that we are talking about finances today. If you guys have been rocking with me for a while, you know that this is our summer series. So our summer series, we've been talking about a lot of different content. Last month, we talked about how you can get fit for travel, even talked about a new program that you can become a part of if you're looking to getting fit for travel before, during, and even after travel. But today's talk is all about our finances, guys. So I'm really delighted to welcome Miss Shaquana Watson Harkness. She is a finance and money confidence coach. All right, money confidence coach. Still letting some others join, but she will be answering your questions about how you can budget, really talking about how you can save now for your dream vacation. So I hope you guys have some questions. Don't be shy. Please, this is interactive. I put it on Zoom so that we can interact. And I want to hear from you guys. So I'm still letting all people in. Tag your friends. Tell them to join us online. Feel free to send it out. And again, if you stay until the end, we have a special offer for only those that stay. So we have a good group here today. So I'm excited. So I want to tell you a little bit about me, because as I mentioned, I see there's a few people I don't know, but as you guys are coming in, make sure you drop in the chat where you are watching from. I'm here in Atlanta. So a little bit about me, I'm Paris Brickens. I'm the founder and CEO of Posh Getaways by Paris. And our mission is to help you travel enthusiasts celebrate special occasions in posh destinations without the headaches of organizing your travel. This is me in South Africa last year on a very fabulous wine tour. It was amazing. And actually it was over our 10-year anniversary. So we were celebrating with a group of friends. We had a blast. But my niche is celebratory trips, milestone birthdays, group travel. So if you guys want to get your friends together, I'm your girl. All right, so come with me. We create curated, unforgettable experiences, and we've been doing this for a few years now. Before we get to the main event, in terms of how you can save, I want to let you know what you're looking for. Do you have your birthday plans together? Let me know in the chat what you're doing for your birthday, because I have five pick your city destination birthday packages. All right, so I'm gonna quickly go through these so you know what we offer. We have gold and platinum packages because we are posh after all. So it depends on what level of service. They're all 4-star, all inclusive, or 5-star and up, which are platinum packages. But our most frequently booked destinations is Dubai, Mexico, and that's going to be Playa del Carmen or Cancun. We have Punta Cana. And our number one sellers for this year for our birthday packages have been Jamaica and St. Lucia. All right. So these are pictures from a group that just came back, I think it was last week. I had a group celebrating their 40th birthday. And so I want you to know that all of our birthday packages take the hard work, the guesswork out of it. All right. So it's going to have a private birthday dinner. We're going to have cake. We might even have a toast champagne. There will be a private meet and greet, some party. Of course, it can't be a posh getaway without 1 or 2 group activities. So those are included depending on your destination. If you look at our website, you'll see the different destinations. And of course, we're going to take care of your airport transfers. And for all the divas, all the birthday divas, we do have photo shoot options that are available. So of course, you want to do Dubai, you might want to do the fly dress to Dubai. In addition to our 5 Pick Your City birthday packages, that are customized. I want y'all to know those birthday packages are customized to your birthday. You bring your friends and join us. The difference here is we have posh trips. Our posh trips are open to individuals. So if you don't have friends, it's just you, or you want to get some folks, we have curated packages. And this is what we have left for the year. All right. So we have, if anyone's looking for anything, we have a Turks and Caicos trip in October that is coming up. That is over. I think it's Columbus Day in October. We also have Dubai Winter Escape. We go to Dubai every year, but this one's sold out. All right, this one's sold out, but you can definitely get on our wait list for next year. And guys, we are releasing today at the end of this trip. If you stay to the end, we are releasing our holiday Christmas cruise. Okay, we have an amazing cruise. I'll tell you a little bit more at the end. And we also recently had a group going to Vegas. A quick preview of our 2024. More is to come. More is to come. So make sure you guys are on our mailing list. All right, I'm gonna take a peek at our comments. Make sure you guys, yes, Shaquana, she loves she loves Usher. Bali, nice. All right. YD wants to go to Dubai. You're going to Dubai. Are you going to Dubai with us in November? I hope so. I don't know who YD is. Is that Yvette? Shelly wants to go to Bali. Come on, guys. Yes, I love it. This is what I'm talking about. So for 2024, we already have on the books. We have Greece. We're going back again. If y'all followed us, we sold out 2 trips to Greece. Okay. We're also going back to South Africa. This is one of my clients. We had a great time. We're going back to South Africa in 2024. We are also, as I mentioned, going back to Dubai. So those are coming. But listen, we have a lot more 2024 and 2025 that will be released very, very soon the next month. Okay. So stay tuned for that. So with that, I just wanted to highlight some things that we do, but I really want to get to the main event here today. And that's what we're here to talk about is our finances and how you guys can save and make travel a lifestyle. All right. Some of you, let me know in the chat, do you travel? Do you take a vacation once a year? Do you take a vacation twice a year? Are you the type to go like you got a girls group, y'all go every year? What's your how do you guys travel? Let me know. How do you finance your travel vacations? Let me know. And if you're watching on Facebook, don't be shy over there. I see y'all watching. Drop down in the comments and let me know how often you travel. But with that, I'm going to introduce our guest speaker. While you guys are popping in the chat. So Shaquana Watson Harkness, she is a money confidence coach and a personal finance contributor. She has been featured in many publications, Grow, CNBC, KYW News Group, Good, The Griot, many Black Enterprise, to name a few. She is the founder of Dollars Make Sense, and her goal is to help professional Black women gain financial confidence to manage, save, and invest their money without fear or overwhelm. So tell me, who is here today that can use that? Like, if that's not you, I know I'm looking forward to hear what she can share. Shaquana has worked with the financial services industry for over 16 years. She has worked as an investment advisor, providing retirement, college planning for small business owners, as well as professionals. In January of 2018, she enrolled a 9-week financial coaching, and 20 months later, she was able to eliminate, guys, over $170,000 of debt by creating a multi-six-figure investing portfolio. So listen, she has a wealth of information that she can share with you. A little bit more about her. In addition to her professional experience, she holds a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering from the University of Pittsburgh. She has an MBA in technology management from Drexel University and a graduate certification in applied statistics. All right, then, Ms. Watson, from Penn State. So do you have any Penn State fans here? She is married and currently resides in Philadelphia. So you guys help me welcome to the virtual stage, Ms. Shaquana Watson Harkness. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Paris, for the wonderful introduction. I'm super, super excited to speak to you all this evening. I hear some background noise, I think.
Yeah, if you don't mind putting yourself on mute, we will open it up for Q&A and at the end, and go ahead. Don't be shy. Feel free to drop your questions in. We will get to all of them.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's okay. One person is still unmuted.
All right, go ahead.
Oh. Okay, now I'm unmuted.
Okay.
I was talking, and nobody can hear me. So let me rewind and start over. So what I was saying was I'm super excited to talk to you all this evening. And I'm really excited because I've known Paris for close to 2 years now. And I knew what she did, but now I'm looking at all these trips and I love to travel. So I'm like, I gotta get on that mailing list and get on some of these trips. So you'll be hearing from me soon, Paris. But as Paris stated, my name is Shaquana Watson Harkness, and I am a finance and money confidence coach. And as she stated, I mainly help professional Black women and entrepreneurs to gain financial confidence to manage and save their money without fear and overwhelm. But the reason why I do what I do is my personal finance story is that I struggled with debt for over 20 years. And it started from when I was in college and I got my first credit card because I wanted to go on spring break. And I was a broke college student. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I wanted to go. And I got my first credit card. Actually, I was coming back from a class and I got my first, someone approached me about getting a credit card to go on spring break. Because back then they could basically promote credit cards on campus. So I said, okay, I don't have anything to lose. I signed up for the credit card, didn't know anything about it. I just knew that I was going on spring break, which I did. And I maxed out the credit card. And that started my journey with debt. So for over 20 years, I accumulated over $200,000 of debt. And then over 5 years ago, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was constantly financially stressed because, every time I got paid on Friday, I would pay my bills, but then I'd be broke by the following Tuesday. And I would have to figure out for my next paycheck how I was going to eat, how I was going to go out, how I was going to put gas in my car, do all the basic things that I should be doing, but I just couldn't figure it out on my own. So I got to a point where I said, you know what, I've been struggling with this for a very long time. Someone needs to help me. Someone has to have a solution that can help me figure this out. Because even though on the outside, I had all the things people desire, like I had a great job, I was college educated, but I was struggling financially and I didn't feel comfortable sharing that I was struggling with my finances with my family and friends. So I'm like, I need some outside help.
I must say, Shaquana, I think we all can relate to that credit card debt and definitely getting it in college. I think that was my first credit card too. We ran it up without a lot of knowledge of how to manage that.
Right.
Does that resonate with anybody else in the chat? Let us know.
Yeah, because it was like, to me, easy money. It solved a problem quick, and I didn't even worry about how I was going to pay it back. All I knew is that they gave it to me, and the guy even told me, who actually gave me the credit card application, he said, "Oh, you'll be approved within a week." So he kind of already knew that should have been a red flag, but I went for it. But anyway, so I decided to do something about my situation, because like I said, I didn't want to live the next 5 or 10 years constantly worrying about money. I wanted to be in a position where the money I was actually making actually reflected within my savings account. And I know all you can probably relate to that. You work hard for your money, and it's like you just don't always see the fruits of your labor show up in your savings account. And that needs to change. At least for me, it had to change. So I found a financial coaching program, and I knew that it gave people great results as far as getting out of debt fairly quickly. And a lot of these people were making less money than what I made. So I'm like, well, if it worked for them, why can't it work for me? So I took a leap of faith, even though I had proof that it worked, social proof, but I still felt like, nah, it's probably not gonna work for me, because like I said, I love to travel. I love eating out, like fine dining. I love shopping. I like to do all the things that people like to do. But I was broke. But I said, what do I have to lose? At this point, I had no other options. So I went through the program for 9 weeks. I did my first budget. And before doing the program, I didn't know how to budget. My thought of budgeting was looking at my online banking and seeing how much I had in my checking account. And once that went to zero, then pulling money out of my savings account. Then once that went to zero, then leveraging my credit card. So that was my thought of budgeting. Plus, I felt like, well, I make a great income. I don't need to be controlled by a budget. I don't want to be restricted.
Wow.
So it's a little bit of entitlement.
Too, yeah.
Which I think you all can probably relate to too. Like, you don't want to be restricted, because that's what budgeting felt to me, right? But I went through it, did the work, and then 20 months after completing the program, I was able to eliminate $169,000 of debt. Yes, it was Dave Ramsey's program, yes. But I will say, going through his program, it was a great experience. But I didn't do everything that he said. I kind of modified it to what worked for me. So for example, I did do the debt snowball, which is how I paid off that much debt in 20 months. So the debt snowball really worked for me. But as far as, one part of his program is to stop investing and pretty much live on the bare minimum, I didn't do that. But at the same time, I was still able to accomplish my goal. And what I do now is I teach people that you can eliminate huge amount of debt. You can increase your savings account to 4 and 5 figures a year. You can travel the world, do all the things, but you don't have to compromise your lifestyle to do it. Because if I was able to do it, anyone else can as well, as long as you know the blueprint to do it, which is what I did. So that's a little bit about me. So I know I went into a lot of details, but I want to let you guys know that, if this is something that you are kind of struggling with, I understand where you are and I see you, and there is hope, and there's ways for you to, save $1,000 or more a month with ease without feeling like you have to, live on, beans and rice, like Dave Ramsey say, or not be able to travel the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about making it work for your lifestyle. So the topic at hand I want to jump into is, what are some of the reasons why you may be struggling to save for that dream vacation? Because I work with a lot of clients just like you, and they love to travel. And most of the time when we hear about, a trip to Dubai or trip to Jamaica, somewhere we've been multiple times or never been, and we look at, okay, the deposit is, let's say, $250 or whatever it may be, the first thing we think is, okay, how are we going to do it? We're not thinking automatically, let's put it on our debit card and secure it. We're like, okay, what credit card got available, credit limit available, and I can, charge it real quick and then I'll pay it off, down the road.
And that's if they have a credit card, right? So hopefully
Right.
they have that backup support.
Right, exactly. So that's like the thinking. And what I always say is you have to reframe that, because if you think about it, growing up, we never had those money conversations of, how do you budget? How do you pay off debt? I mean, I know I didn't, I grew up with my mother, single mother, and my grandparents. And one of the things I gleaned from my grandparents, which is the reason number one I'm going to go into, is that a lot of times the reason why you're so quick to probably put that deposit on a credit card is because you don't have a system to save money. And a good example of that, well, two good examples, is my grandfather. He would purchase a new car every 5 to 7 years in the 80s and the 90s. And that resonated with me because he had to have a good saving system to do, because it would be a brand new car. And if you think about doing that today, you're like, well, how is that possible where the average new car is like $50,000? But if he could do it based on the way he lives his life and the fact that his goal was always to get that brand new car in 5 to 7 years, and he made way less than what we're making today, why can't it be possible for you to have that 5-star vacation and that dream location that you've been probably thinking about for the last couple of years, but you feel like it's out of your reach? And the reason why you feel like it's out of your financial reach is you probably think, I need to make more money, I need to get a promotion, I need to get a bonus. But the reality is you got the money. You just need a system in place in order for you to save towards that goal. So that's reason number one, is that you don't have a system to save money. Because like I said, most of the
system. Listen, I think we all need, because just as I create new trips all the time, like, ooh, I was already planning for next year, right? But things pop up, and as we know, life happens. And I think what I experience a lot is people just hold off on living their life, treating themselves. That self-care that we need, especially as Black women, we carry so much that we will just put off our vacations for other things. And I'm really hoping that you guys will be mindful and think about how to put aside so that you can always take care of yourself and recharge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, that's the biggest thing, because like I said, it's not always throwing money at it, because you have sufficient income. It's a matter of making your income work for you. And in this situation, making you putting you in a position so you can go in vacation once a quarter, which is totally possible if you have that system set up. Another example of a system to save, no system to save money, is that, and I was telling Paris this on a conversation, is that every 2 years, my husband and I go on this really luxurious vacation where we just basically ball out. We love to go to Sandals every 2 years. And we try to go to a new sandal every 2 years, and we do the Butler suite, which is like the highest level. And the way that we do it is we cash flow it. So we'll put a certain amount of money each month towards the trip, so that by the time the trip is coming up, like within 6 months of the trip or something like that, is usually paid off. And then all we have to do is just pay for the flights. And then whatever money we're saving leading up to the trip is really pocket money for excursions or things that we want to do while we get there. So if you have that plan, that system to save money in place, you can do those things and not have to go into debt to have your dream vacation. Any questions on that particular reason? I don't want to keep rambling on. If you guys have any questions, if you do, just drop them in the chat, because I am looking in the chat as you guys are responding.
So how did you save that? You just put the cash aside, like you were just disciplined to put cash, say, in a jar in the house, or did you put it in a bank? Or
good question. So my husband and I, we budget together. So we have money conversations at least once a month about, what we're going to do for the month. I mean, we have a standard budget of, what our utilities, like the household bills or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we always try to allocate money within our budget. We have like a travel fund. So with that travel fund, we know, okay, we're going to allocate X amount of dollars towards it. And then what we do is we just make the payments toward the trip with that money, if that makes sense. So we
Okay,
don't really
okay.
set it aside.
I like it. So you don't have to use those credit cards. Okay.
Right, right. That's our way of not getting into debt because it's exciting that you have access to leverage debt in order for you to get what you want now. But then I realized after been doing this for 20 something years is that excitement kind of weans off, especially when you've done the trip and you go home and you see that instead of you having a $10,000 balance on your credit card statement, now you got a 25,000 because you went on this big trip or things pop up and you're like, and this would happen in a matter of months very quickly. So it's like the whole excitement of it kind of weans off. So we was like, we did that initially when we got married. We paid for our honeymoon, majority of on a credit card. And after we did the honeymoon, I was just like, this don't feel good. I mean, I was glad to go on the honeymoon, but then I looked at that credit card statement. I'm like, darn, I don't want to pay this back with interest,
And you have to try the cash option. Has anyone tried that where they stash money to the side? Has that worked for you? I got a lot of questions, but I don't want to.
No.
Did you have like a set amount? So say like $20. You do have a goal, and you just like whatever I have extra, I'm gonna put cash aside and not touch it.
That's a good question. A little bit of both. So each month I try to have a certain goal. Well, the way that I do it, so I look at what the balance is that I owe on the trip and I break it down. So let's say if the trip is $10,000, which is very feasible for us, right? I try to break it down like how much is that per month that we have to pay towards the trip based on when the full balance is due. So based on that, so let's say for a $10,000 trip that I'm doing in 2 years, the monthly payment on that, we might, and it depends because some months we might be very diligent. Like let's say we might pay $400 to $600 towards it, but then when it's around Christmas, we might not make any payments towards it because we're paying for Christmas gifts or other stuff like that. So when those things come up, we're like, okay, we'll put the money that we put towards the trip towards those things, and then we'll just pick it back up in January, just add a little bit extra going forward so that we hit what our goal each month to put towards the trip.
Awesome. And I think that's Yvette in the chat put down a looks like a savings card or tip sheet she has. So that's
yeah, that 52-week. Yup, exactly. Yeah. A lot of people have done that. Yeah. And that's another way where you can keep yourself disciplined to put a certain amount of money each week in order to accumulate that. So yeah, I think that's a good tool as well. So that's the reason number one. Reason number two, where you might be struggling to save money, whether it's for your next dream vacation, is that you're spending more than what you're actually bringing in. And the reason why you're doing that is because you don't have any type of budget. You think you got a budget, but the budget you have does not reflect your lifestyle. Lifestyle meaning your spending habits. So if you like to go to Starbucks, if you like to go shopping, at certain stores, or you like to eat out, whether it's for lunch at work or just eating out on the weekends with family and friends, you might not be accounting for that in your budget, which makes you spend more than actually what you're bringing in. And you're not seeing that. Well, you might see it a little bit in your bank account, but the reason why you're able to do that is because you're probably leveraging credit cards because you're like, okay, that's giving me the extra, that's my emergency fund. So I have some clients that say their credit cards in their emergency fund. So if they feel like they're overstretched in their budget at any given time, they use the credit card. But like I said, with credit cards, you don't pay today, but you're going to keep paying for years and years and years. Because about 80% of people do not pay the full balance off of the credit card within 30 days of actually incurring an expense. So you're going to, probably pay double or triple the
Yeah.
original purchase because you're not paying that original purchase off quickly enough.
I think that's a key part that I don't know if people pay that attention or maybe we just don't care, but that's how we really get in trouble. Oh Lord, I know too well. So once that balance, that credit card balance gets high, those finance charges, do y'all see how much they charge y'all? It's
Yes,
so
25, 30%. I've seen 36%. It's outrageous. And even if you make the
like you could have bought
minimum,
a whole nother trip for the finance charge. Seriously. But anyway, I won't get started.
and with this particular point, and like I was saying earlier, I felt like a budget was restricting, but a budget really gives you the power. It empowers you to say, I can do this with my money and do that with my money, because you're keeping eyes on your money at all times. And if you don't know where your money is going, your money's going to always escape you. And it's going to repel from your bank account. It's not going to even sit in your bank account long because you don't have any clue where it's going. So a budget gives you control of where your money is going, but it also empowers you to understand, okay, where your money is going at all times. So when you're making a major purchase, like going on your dream vacation or funding it each month, you don't feel like you're making a bad financial mistake because of it, because you already know based on your numbers that your bills are being paid, you're saving money where it needs to be saved. So you putting that extra 400 or 500 towards that dream trip is not going to hurt your finances. Any questions on that? Just drop them in the chat. And then the third reason is that you don't have a goal. So kind of Paris kind of alluded to that earlier, like, do you have a savings goal? And, you have to have a goal, because if you don't have a goal, then you don't have anything to aim towards. So it's kind of like, if you play darts or shoot darts, the dartboard is a bullseye and you're trying to get the bullseye with the dart. So even though the bullseye is to have $1,000, say you want to save $1,000 a month, and some of that money is going towards your travel fund, some months you might hit around the bullseye. Sometimes you might not even be on the board because life happens and it totally just got you off track and you just need to handle it and kind of reset. It doesn't matter that the goal, the thing you have to keep in mind is that what is your goal? So if your goal, like I believe, I'm looking in the chat, it was a young lady, YD, put the 52-week savings tracker in there. So if you have a goal of saving $10,000 in the next 52 weeks, what happens is a lot of times, the beginning of the year, January, February, you have that focus because there's not a lot of things to do. There's not too much activity per se to get you distracted. But then once the summertime hits, there's a lot of distractions. There's concerts, there's barbecues, there's birthdays, there's weddings, there's all types of things. And all those things usually require money, and it kind of throws you off and you feel like, okay, I'm never going to hit this goal. But if you know your goal ahead of time, you can say, okay, I know my numbers, I know what I need to do. Let me just focus and reset myself, not beat myself up for what I've been doing for the last couple of months. I can't do nothing about that. What I can do today is focus on the goal and keep moving forward. And do you ladies have any savings goals when it comes to planning for your vacation? If you do, let me know in the chat.
Any savings goals?
Yeah, like a travel fund, or when I say that, like, so some of my clients, they have travel funds. So they try to save X amount of dollars towards that travel fund each year. So just asking that question, does anyone have that set aside? And Tara says she just treats it like a bill. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's what I do.
That's mindset and a lot of self-control too, to just like you said, pay it like a bill, just take care of it. So that's great. Who was that, Tara? So Tara, you should be on one of our posh trips then.
Okay, April says she's part of the credit union, has a vacation club. Yeah. And that
Oh,
is a really good point you bring up, April, because I'm part of a credit union as well. And credit unions are really good. What I like about them is, one, you don't have to pay a lot of the fees, but I like that they have those type of accounts that you can open up. So they have the vacation club, they have a Christmas club, and you can put money in those accounts for that purpose. So it kind of keeps it in the front of your mind that, exactly, yeah, it kind of keeps in front of your mind. Okay, this is my goal. A visual representation of that, because the vacation club, that purpose is for you to fund your vacations. So if you're putting $100 a week into it, and Paris drops her trips, once a quarter or even more frequently, that, okay, I can pull from that particular account, and because that's what it's the purpose of the account is for, versus, a lot of other people, they're pulling from their credit cards or some other form of debt to make it happen. Okay. And why do you say I usually have a travel fund because I'm usually not a traveler. This year I planned one trip per quarter in celebration of milestone. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. And I believe, like I said, I never was exposed to growing up, like, people vacation a lot. I mean, the biggest vacation I went to growing up was probably family reunions once a year.
but even that is something, because even a local or domestic, maybe out of state, you have to drive somewhere and get a hotel. That could be those a couple hundred could be a reason that people are not getting together with their families. So if they
Right.
had some savings set aside, even if people don't know where they want to go, I definitely would encourage you to start saving for the next, what's to come. Life is short, and I hope that if anything, people realize we got to live now, post COVID, we're all claiming it. That we can't wait for the next day. Save now so that when the opportunity comes, you are ready and you can go, even if it is next door, down the street to your family reunion.
Right, right. And so just to wrap up, so this would be my next steps that I would recommend for, I'm assuming it's all ladies on the call. So I'm just going to say all ladies for you to take action if you're looking to fund that next trip, even for the deposit, because I know some of this is baby steps. Because you probably still have to figure out, okay, how am I still make it work? I hear what she's saying, but how I make it work. So my next steps for you guys would be, first, just have a good budget, like a budget that is realistic and it reflects what you do, how you spend your money. Because if you don't have a really good budget, then it's going to be hard for you to determine your savings goals when it comes to funding your travel fund, and just making sure that you're not accumulating more debt or you're spending more money than what you're actually bringing in. So have that budget in place. And, I always say, write it out, like look at your statements, write it out, your banking statements, write it out, and kind of figure out, okay, how can I put together my budget? There's also budgeting apps available, like Mint, which I use, and everydollar.com. That's another great budgeting app. So just figure out where your money is going. And then the second thing is just to make sure that you have a system to save money. So system meaning that once you've determined, this is how much I can save towards my travel fund. April brought up a good point to having that vacation club at a credit union. So making sure that your money is being automatically transferred to that fund. So you don't even see it, or having a routine in place where you're going to the bank and putting that money in that account, and then you just don't really touch it until you need it for your upcoming vacation. But hopefully this was all helpful for you guys. If you have questions, please let me know. And if you still feel like, okay, I need some more help when it comes to saving money because I make a great income, I don't have a budget, I feel like I spend more than what I'm bringing in, and I feel like I should be saving more, but I don't know where to start, then I do have a free challenge that I'm kicking off on Monday. It's called a 72-hour saving sprint. And within 3 days, I will show you strategies on how you can save that first $1,000 within the next 30 days to fund your savings account. And savings meaning your emergency savings account as well as your travel fund. So if you're interested in the free challenge, I'll drop it in the chat below. But other than that, I'll turn it over to Paris and I'll answer any questions you guys have.
Awesome. So yes, thank you so much. We're gonna open it up for Q&A, guys. So please, Shaquana, absolutely provide the information for your free challenge on how you can get more practical tips on how you can save and make that real. But I'm going to see if anyone has any questions. You're free to come off of mute, ask your question, or you can post it in the chat. So while we see if we have questions, I'm gonna look in the chat. But feel free to ask your question. Any question.
And the only other thing I would say just come to my mind.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of talked about this too a little bit, Paris, like, because when I saw your opening slides, we were looking, I was seeing all the trips. I'm like, oh, South Africa, Dubai. Like, I would love to do all those things. But sometimes we kind of limit ourselves to think, okay, we can't do it, but we actually can. If like, because I know you have awesome payment plans of how they could do it and make sure that they're funded. But I'm telling you guys, once you understand where your money is going, you're intentional with your spending, you can probably travel with Paris once a quarter on a trip.
That would be great.
If that's your goal.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm looking at the tips as you said. So let me know if I got the first one wrong, but the 3 strategies is really to allocate maybe cash towards a travel fund to start saving in-house for that cash. Number 2 is spending more than what you buy, so really having a real budget, knowing what's coming in and out. And then the third would be to setting a savings goal, which is actually something I need to do. If I had a say $10,000 goal, absolutely I could fit in 4 nice trips strategically. Some of our trips that are more expensive, like our South Africa trip, more cultural, long-term, a longer flight, I try to give people a longer payment plan at least. My goal is always like at least 10 to 12 months. So South Africa, we even did up to 2 years on that one. At this point, it's a little bit less than that, but we do try to give people a length of time to make it affordable.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Jamila had a question: define budget versus actual amount spent in the perspective of planning and not spending outside the plan. So let me see if I answer your question correctly. So the way I look at budget, so basically, well, April, I'll let Paris answer that question after I answer Jamila's question. So the way I define budget is the amount of money you allocate towards a certain expense category. And then of course your actual is the actual amount of money you spent in that category. So, and if I didn't answer it correctly, you can come off mute and let me know. But basically, so let's say I budgeted, $700 for my groceries this month. But since I've tracked my money every week, I found that, okay, instead of me spending $700 this month, excuse me, I spent $800. So I actually went over $100. That's my actual number. So hopefully that answers your question, but let me know, Jamila, if it didn't.
Let me see. Yeah. So that was a good question.
Okay, thanks, Jamila. Okay, I want to make sure. And hopefully I said your name correctly as well, because I know I get like somebody chop up my name. I'm like,
No,
I get
you're
my pants the
good.
first time. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
said it fine. I just think it's really hard sometimes where, to stay within, that $700 plan, especially with like groceries. It's a necessity. And so we justify, you know, buying that $100 more worth of groceries versus really sacrificing and disciplining ourselves. And then, or like 700 on groceries, but then we're eating out $200 or $300 worth a month. So it's
Right.
like, nope, if I'm buying $700 worth of groceries, that's how much I need to eat for the month. I'm not going to eat out,
Mhm.
that month unless I reduce the grocery budget. So I
Right,
think
right,
that's where it's hard, kind of, and then we have this. Some people just look at their budget as what I actually spent. It's like, no, you plan it out first
right.
before you spend,
Mhm.
and then you stick to that amount, and I think that's the challenge for me. It's like I plan all the bills, and then whatever I have left is just all getting spent to zero, and it's like, no, I
Mhm.
need to have that savings goal and not have to spend all of the extra, and have some roll over to the next month, or
Right, right, right,
excuse me.
right, right. And I actually have a solution for that problem, because I had a client that had the same, well, a lot of my clients have that same issue where they feel like they budget incorrectly. And in some cases they do, meaning that, they might say, oh yeah, I spend, $700 on groceries, but in reality, since they spend $1,200. But the reason why they didn't know that, because they never tracked it. So now that they're tracking it, I'm like, okay, put $1,200. And if you feel like that's too high, then you have to adjust your grocery budget, or you have to take away from another category for a couple of months to make it align. So if I go over any particular category, like for example, I love, I guess I'm bougie, but I like massages, I get my nails done, all the things, right? Because I have a stressful
That,
business, and
that is
I
called
like to relax.
self-care. That is okay. Self-care. Come on.
So I put money in that particular category, but there might be some months where I might not be able to do all the things in that category. So if I overspend eating out and I have a set amount for that, I'll just pull whatever money from self-care on another category that I underutilize for that month to compensate for it, so that I'm still on budget, if that makes sense. So I empower the people I work with to not feel bad if they overspend. Is more so just to make you aware that, okay, maybe the numbers that you're putting in your budget isn't either realistic, or it might be something that, seasonal, or something that you're going through that you just have to make the adjustment. But it doesn't mean that it has to throw off all your finances forever because of it. You just have to be aware of it and then make the proper adjustments.
Well, I want to see if we have any other questions. And guys, make sure you check out her challenge. We can get a lot more information. How often do you do your challenges? This is how I found you, because I saw that you were providing this value, and I really just wanted to bring this content to my communities. So we're talking about things, but we all need some help with budgeting.
Yeah, I do them once a month. I've been doing savings challenges the last couple of challenges. So this one's a savings challenge. My next one next month will be a debt challenge called Ditch the Debt Challenge. And
Come
then I'll
on.
probably do a budgeting challenge after that in October. So I try to do, one of those particular topics once a quarter.
Well, awesome, awesome. Well, we're coming to the end of the top of the hour. And so anyone on Facebook, feel free to leave your comment or question, and we will definitely respond to it. Again, if you're watching on replay, that is okay. Before I move on, I want to see, does anyone else have another question in the chat? Let me see.
When is the Africa trip?
Oh, yes. So the Africa trip, that is planned for Martin Luther King holiday. So Martin Luther King holiday. And so we will be having another one as well coming up. So y'all make sure you're on our mailing list so that you'll get access, you'll get the information first. All right, so when we release new trips, we always, those that are on our mailing list will get it first. Like you might even get a special promo code to get something off. So make sure y'all are on our Facebook, and excuse me, on our mailing list and in our Facebook group. So we're streaming live now, but our Facebook group too, let me see, by raise of hand, who's in our Facebook group? Because I polled the group a lot about what they want. And so, all right, Jamila, let me see who else. All right, I see a few hands raised. So that's my way of talking to you guys, really getting to know my community. So again, we do these travel chats monthly. And so save the date, guys. Our next one is going to be in September. So this summer, we've been doing a lot of different content. Next month, we're going to focus on some of our new trips that we're releasing. So stay tuned. I have at least 10 new trips, guys. 10 new trips are coming. So we're going to release them slowly. So the first one, you guys are going to be the first to hear about our holiday cruise. So stay to the end. I got one more slide. And as I mentioned, we're going to have a big campaign for our Pick Your City birthday packages that are going to be launching after Labor Day. So we'll have a travel chat where we can talk about the details of those trips, the holiday cruise and other things similar to this in September. So again, make sure you're on the mailing list to be aware. Now, let's see, I got, looks like a few people on, 18 people on, some on Facebook. So you guys are the first to get this information. If you're in our Facebook group, you guys are the first to hear this information. We have a trip, y'all. Hot trip.
Oh, Paris, Sonia has her hand up.
Oh, Sonia, you got a question?
No, sorry, I forgot to put it back down after you asked us.
Okay, yeah, she was letting me know she's in the group. But so really quickly, I just want to let you know we just released our holiday cruise. It's brand new. Y'all are first to hear. There are not a lot of spaces left, guys. So this is gonna be a 5-day, 4 nights. If you're in the Facebook group, I asked y'all, do y'all want to travel before the holiday or on the holiday? It was overwhelmingly like 80% said they want to go over the holiday. So that's what we have. So it is a short cruise. So if you're thinking of bringing the family, hopefully it's not too long, 5 days, 4 nights on Royal Caribbean. This is a picture of the ship. It is nice, guys. If you haven't been on Royal Caribbean, it is all about fun. This does leave out of Orlando, Florida. That was intentional because if you guys want to add a pre or post day trip to Walt Disney World while you're in Orlando, we can absolutely help arrange that. So again, it departs out of Orlando. It visits Nassau, Bahamas for 1 day. And then the cool part is Coco Cay, which is the perfect day at Coco Cay is an island. So Royal Caribbean owns a private island where they have all these activities for all ages, activities. There's an adults only section if you just want the cabana luxe feeling. So there's something for everybody. So that's where you will be on Christmas Day. So I'm giving you guys a special offer. Because again, we don't have a lot of cabins. You have 5 months if you want to take a part of this. This offer is only open until next, whatever the end of the month, the 31st, that's next Thursday. The website will be open tomorrow. So you guys get a head start before everyone to think it over. What it comes with is, of course, your cruise. You can do interior, ocean view, or balcony. We also will have some suites if you guys want to upgrade, but all of them come with a short excursion credit as well as onboard credit. So, and the order form will have the deposit, but I want to say it's like $200. So it's gonna break that up. Pricing starts at $12.19 per person for 2 people in a cabin. You can go 3 or 4 people to a cabin if you want, but you'll see the pricing for that on the website. So with that, make sure you get the code LIVE23 where you can take an instant $150 off, and that's going to be good until the end of next week. So I'll see if we have any questions about that, any comments. Let me know. And if not, I just want to thank you all for spending your time with us today on this Travel Talk Thursday. And I want to thank again our guest speaker, Shaquana Watson Harkness. It was a pleasure. And I hope we can talk more. So if my community, if you guys want her back, we can do this again. I would love to have you back to talk some more. I think people can benefit from this information. And I'll definitely share the video with my listserv as well. So I'm always open for other topics, guys. I'm here for you guys to let me know if this was helpful. If you want to do it again, we're happy to do it. All right. Shaquana, will you come back for us?
Yes, ma'am, but it has to be overwhelming demand for me. No, I'll come back.
Okay. Listen, guys, we gotta, we can't waste folks' time. All right. So if y'all want this, she will come back and talk with us. So I appreciate that. I see some more comments. Let me look. All right, so thank you.
No, you're very welcome, everyone. This was a great discussion. I love talking about money. I love helping people realize that, they have the money to live the lifestyle they desire. And my final comment is just go for it. Live the life that you want. And like Paris says, tomorrow's not promised. And don't let money hold you back from that. So if there's anything that Paris can do or I can do to help you reach your goals, just let us know.
And Shaquana, can you put the link in the chat again for the free challenge, savings challenge?
Sure. Yep. And I'll post it in your Facebook group after this call. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. So I told y'all I won't keep you guys long. And so I appreciate you joining the call and look forward to hearing from you more and see you guys on future Posh Getaways. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Take care, okay?
Take care. Bye.
Bye on Facebook. Bye, guys.